Welcome back. In this episode, I'm going to wrap up the details of putting in the through-hull valve and the through-hulls on my boat. If you've been watching my past episodes, you've been seeing that progress since last fall, so this will be the last episode on that. I've created a sketch so you can see in more detail where the different types of sealant, 5200, epoxy, pipe thread sealant, were applied in my logic in why I did what I did. If you have any comments, I'd appreciate you listing them. If you have any questions, I love to get questions as well. If you like what you see, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Thanks for watching. This is a drawing of the through hull and the flanged ball valve that I installed on my boat. What I want to do is explain in detail what I've been doing in the last several videos. I've color-coded the sealant areas. The blue is pipe thread. It's not Teflon, it's actually a paste. The red is 5200 3M adhesive, and the green is thickened epoxy. My reasoning for the way I did this is to get double seals at every point where water could leak into the boat. So if water, the most obvious is if water gets under the through hull and comes up the threads, that's one leak path. To get into the boat, it either has to come through this thickened epoxy or through this sealant, 3M sealant, or through the pipe threads. And even if it gets back through the pipe threads, it still has to come out one of these two joints. The other path is if it just comes up into the valve, leaks back past the pipe threads, it still has to get out through one of these seals. So it's basically a double seal, and that was the reason I kind of went with this design. Anyway, this was my logic in coming up with this design. It doesn't necessarily look as pretty as probably some people's work, but all this is below the waterline. So on the exterior, it's relatively smooth. It's not race boat smooth, but it's certainly good enough for the type of sailing I do. If anybody has any comments, something you think is flawed in this design, sure welcome your comments. Unfortunately, I probably won't be able to take any of your recommendations because this is it. This is in for probably the next 30 to 40 years. I don't see this coming out anytime soon. I don't envy the next person who has to take it out, and quite frankly, this boat is probably going to be crushed before 40 years. I don't see any fiberglass boat making it 70 some years from the date of manufacture. But anyway, that's just my opinion.